तनासरी महला पंचमा कार छेवा एक ओंकार सतगुर प्रसाद। सुनो संत प्यारे बिनो हमारे जियो, हर बिन मुकत न काहू जियो रहा। O dear saints, I pray listen to our prayers with attention. Without the support of God's true name, no one has ever attained salvation. Pause. मन निर्मल कर्म कार, तारन तरन हार, अवर जंजाल तेरा काहू न काम जियो। जीवन देवा पार ब्रह्म सेवा, इह उपदेश मोको गुर दीना जियो। O my mind, do only deeds of purity. Vaheguru is the only boat to carry you across. Other entanglements shall be of no use to you. True living is serving the divine, supreme God. The Guru has imparted this teaching to me. Tisyo na laye heet, जाको किछ नाही बीत, अंत की बार ओ संग ना चाले। मन तन तू आराध, हर के प्रीतम साध, जाके संग तेरे बंधन छूटे। Do not fall in love with trivial things. In the end they shall not go along with you. Worship and adore the God with your mind and body. O beloved saint of Vaheguru, in the Satsangat, the company of holy, you shall be released from bondage. Gaho par brahma saran, हृदय कमल चरण, अवर आर कछ पटल न कीजै। सोई भगत ज्ञानी ध्यानी, तपा सोई नानक जाको कृपा कीजै। Hold fast to the sanctuary of the lotus feet of the Supreme God in your heart. Do not place hopes in any other kind of support. He alone is a devotee, spiritually wise, a meditator and a penitent, O Nanak, who is blessed by God's mercy. Tanasari Mahalla Panjama, मेरे लाल भलो रे भलो, भलो हर मंगना। देखो पसार नैन, सुनो साधु के बैन, प्राणपत चित राख, सगल है मरना रहा। O dear friend, it is worthwhile to seek God's true name only from the holy saints with body and mind, as whatever we are perceiving with our open eyes is perishable. This would be realized with proper deliberations. Let us therefore listen to the words of holy saints carefully with attention and inculcate the love of God, who is source of life, in our hearts. Pause. चंदन चोआ रस भोग करत अनेकें, बिखया बिखार देख सगल है फीके। ये कह गोविंद को नामनी को, कहत है साध जन, तन तन आपन थाप्यो। हर जप न निमक जाप्यो, अर्थ द्रव देख कछ संग नाही चलना. All the worldly pleasures, including the cover of sandalwood and other possessions, lending charm to the worldly falsehood, enjoyment of life, and vicious actions, are in reality tasteless, being transient and short-lived. In fact, only God's true name seems to be beautiful and fruitful, and this point is explained by holy saints many times. They always have stressed this fact that this body and wealth which we consider as our own are transient, whereas God's true name, which is permanently and likely to accompany us, is not recited by us even for a moment. All this wealth which you have amassed for your own sake would not accompany you after death. जाको रे कर्म फला तिन ओट गही संत फला तिन नाही रे जम संतावै साधु के संगना पायो रे परम निधान मिट्यो है अभिमान एक निरंकार नानक मन लगना. Whosoever is fortunate enough with good deeds to their credit, they take support of holy saints by taking refuge at their lotus feet. Such people, they do not get punished by Yama due to the efficacy and grace of the holy saints, as the Yama can never come near them. O Nanak, such a person who has attained the wealth of God's true name, having cast away egoism through Guru's grace, is always imbued with the love of God in their heart. Tanasri Mahilla Panjama Kar Satma Ik Omkar Sat Guru Prasad Hare Kasimare 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 Pyare Kal Kales Lob Moh Mahapau Jal Tare Raha. O dear friend, let us always recite God's true name with love and devotion, with body and mind. The God emancipates the human being from 5 vices and helps to cross ocean of life successfully. Saas saas nimakh nimakh dinas ren chitare साध संग जप निसंग मन निधान तारे. This human being should worship Vaheguru every moment with every breath by reciting true name. The person who have recited true name in the company of holy saints without any hesitation have worshipped God, the fountainhead of 9 treasures, by inculcating Vaheguru's love in the heart. Charan kamal namaskar gun gobind bichare sadh jana ki reen nanak mangal sukh sadhare. O Nanak, the Guru-minded people who have sought refuge at the lotus feet of the true Guru and who have sung the praises of God by saluting him have proceeded to Vaheguru's presence with flying colours by applying the dust of lotus feet of the saints to their foreheads and enjoyed the eternal bliss. Tanasri Mahalla Panjama Karyatma Dupade Kunkar Satgur Prasad. Simro simar simar sukh pavo सास सास समाले एलोक परलोक संग सहाय जतकत मोहे रखवाले. Let us recite the true name of God during all the 3 ages with love and devotion, so that we could enjoy the eternal bliss every moment of this life. The Guru's guidance and teachings would be my mainstay and companion in this world, in the next, and would protect my honor everywhere like a protector. गुर का बचन बसै जी नाले, जलने डूबै तस कर नहीं लेवै, पाहे न साकै जाले. The Guru's word is always guiding me as a companion of my soul, which cannot be drowned in water even, nor can it be stolen by a thief, or the fire cannot burn it either. The Guru's word is indestructible by fire, water, and cannot be robbed either. Pause. निर्धन को तन अंधले को टिक, मात दूध जैसे बाले, सागर में बोहित पायो, हर नानक करी कृपा किरपाले. The Guru's guidance is our mainstay in life, just as wealth is loved by a poor people. A stick provides support to a blind person, or a child loves mother's milk. O Nanak, when the benevolent Guru bestowed his grace and blessings on us, we attained Vaheguru's true name as the ship of safety for crossing this ocean of life successfully. Tanasari Mahalla Panjama, Bhai Kripal Dayal Gobinda, Amrit Hriday Sanchai, Navnidharid Siddhar Lag Rahi Jan Pai. Once Vaheguru favored us with his grace and benevolence. We were bestowed with the nectar of true name through Guru's guidance. Then we gained all the 9 treasures and the 18 occult powers, riddhis and siddhis, which were possessed by Vaheguru. All the wealth of true name has now passed on to holy saints of God through his grace. संतन को आनंद सगल ये जाए, ग्रह बाहर ठाकुर भगतन का, रव रह्या श्रभ ठाई रहाओ. The holy saints are always enjoying the eternal bliss in all situations or places, as the God is the protector of the saints, whether at home or outside or any other place. In fact, God is pervading everywhere like the rays of the sun, throwing its light all over the world. Pause. Thako koi na pਹੁੰਚਨ ਹਾਰਾ, ਜਾਕੇ ਅੰਗ ਵਸਾਈ, ਜਮ ਕੀ ਤਰਾਸ ਮਿਟੈ ਜਿਸ ਸਿਮਰਤ, ਨਾਨਕ ਨਾਮ ਧਿਆਈ. Such a person who has won the support of Vaheguru, the true master himself, cannot have any enemies or anybody equal in status to such a being. O Nanak, we could cast away our fear complex of the Yama by reciting true name. I would always recite God's true name, which would remove the desire of Yama to punish us. Rather, the Yama dares not to approach anywhere near us. Tanasri Mahalla Panjama, Darbavant Darb Dekh Garbay, Pumavant Bhimani, Raja Jane Sagal Raj Hamra, Tyo Harjan Take Swami. God's holy saints always depend on support by God, just as the rich, wealthy people get thrilled seeing their amassed wealth and then feel proud about it, or a landlord feels elated with egoism seeing the extent of his land and fields, and the king feels proud of all his countries. Jeko apni oot samare, जैसा बित तैसा होए वर्ताए, अपना बल नहीं हारे रहाओ. When one considers Vaheguru to be one's only support, then God uses his power to help such a person. This power can never be defeated. Pause. आन त्याग भय आस्तर, सरल सरल कर आए, संत अनुग्रह भय मन निर्मल, नानक हर गुण गाए. Renouncing all others, I have sought the support of one God. I have come to Him, pleading, "Save me." By the kindness and grace of the saints, my mind has been purified. O Nanak, I sing the glorious praises of God. Tanasri mahalla panjama, जाको हर रंग लागो इस जुग में, सो कहियत है सूरा, आत्म जिणे सगल वसता कै, जाका सतगुर पूरा. Such people who are imbued with your love, O Vaheguru, they are always immersed in your love and devotion. They are known and acclaimed as the brave warriors in this age of Kal Yuga. Such people whose Guru is perfect have overpowered their mind, having full control of their body and mind, all their senses. They are acclaimed all over the world as if they have control over everyone. Thakur gaye atm rang, sarani pavan naam tyavan, sehaj samavan sang rahao. We should sing the praises of Vaheguru with love and devotion by immersing completely in the love of God. O Vaheguru, by seeking refuge at the lotus feet of Vaheguru, we could attain the state of bliss and equipoise and unison with you by reciting the true name of God. Pause. जन के चरण वसे में रहिए रे, संग पुनीता देही, जानकी दूर देहो कृपा निध, नानक कै सुख एही. O Nanak, my body and soul gets purified when I inculcate the love of the holy saints in my heart. O great benefactor, may you bestow on us the dust of the lotus feet of your saints and devotees. We have been longing for this bliss, and we have been engaged in your service to gain this holy dust of the lotus feet of the saints. Tanasri mahalla panjama, जतन करे मानख डहकावे, ओ अंतर जामी जाने, पाप करे कर मुकर पावे, पेख करे निर्वाणे. This mortal always tries to cheat and deceive others and confuse them with lot of efforts, whereas the omniscient God knows every bit of his clever moves. Then again, this mortal engages himself in sinful actions in the garb of saints, and then after committing the sins does not accept any faults and does not own any of the sins or vicious actions. जानत दूर तुम्हें प्रभ नेर, उत ताकै उत ते उत पेखै, आवे लोभी फेर rahao. Though you are abiding very close to us, being within us, this mortal always perceives and thinks you are a distant entity. As such, this man looks around and commits various sins as if no one is watching, and then steals others' possessions with cleverness. Pause. Jab lag tute nahi मन परमा, तब लग मुकत न कोई, कहो नानक दयाल स्वामी, संत भगत जन सोई. O Nanak, this man cannot attain salvation as long as he does not get rid of all whims and dual-mindedness through the company of holy saints. O Vaheguru, whosoever is blessed with your grace and benevolence becomes your slave or saint even. Tanasri mahalla panjama, नाम गुर दियो है अपने, जाके मस्तक करमा, नाम दिड़ावै नाम जपावै ताका जुग में तरमा. Such people who are rather fortunate, being predestined by God's will, have been bestowed with the boon of true name by Vaheguru. Vaheguru has made them realize how to recite true name along with its value and importance in the world, so that they have recited only true name by inculcating its love in the heart during this age of Kal-Yug. जन को नाम वडाई शोभ, नामो गत नामो पत जन की माने जो जो होग रहाओ. Vaheguru has bestowed honor and status to such people by imparting them the nectar of true name, which brings them honor and acclaim even in the next world. Such people always accept with pleasure the dictates of Vaheguru as per his will and spend this life following Vaheguru's will without any hesitation. Pause. नाम तन जिस जन कै पाले सोई पूरा साहा. नाम व्यवहारा नानक आधारा नाम परापत लाहा. O Nanak, people who have attained the wealth of true name, they are truly wealthy and rich as they deal in the merchandise of true name, in the business of life, having the support of true name only. Thus, they make success of this life by earning the profit by reciting true name. Tanasari Mahalla Panjama नेत्र पुनीत भय दरस पेखे माथे परो रवाल. रस रस गुण गावो ठाकुर के मुरे हृदय बसो गोपाल. My eyes have become pure by perceiving a glimpse of the girl. Similarly, the forehead could be purified by applying the dust of the lotus feet of the girl. My only prayer to Vaheguru is that I may be enabled to inculcate the love of God in my heart, so that I could sing the praises of Him with love and devotion. तुम ताऊ राखन हार दयाल, सुंदर सुघर बेअंत पिता, प्रभु प्रभु कृपाल रहा. O God benefactor, you are always protecting your devotees through your grace. O true Master, may you bless us with your grace, as you are the greatest of the great being, your limitless. Pause. महानंद मंगल रूप तुमरे, बचन अनूप रसाल. हृदय चरण शब्द सतगुर को, नानक बांध्यो पाल. We are thrilled by perceiving your beautiful form, full of wisdom, and listening to your sweet words. O Nanak, we have inculcated the love of the lotus feet of Vaheguru in the heart, and have accepted Guru's teachings with full faith, and have recited true name with love and devotion. Tanasari Mahalla Panjama, apni ukat khilave bhojan, apni ukat khilave. Sarb sukh bhog ras deve, mani nal samave. O true Master, you are providing us with sustenance through your will, and it is through your will alone that the worldly drama is being enacted. You have bestowed all the comforts and worldly pleasures on us to enjoy, having inculcated your love in the heart. Hamare Pita Gopal Dayal, ज्यों राखे महतारी, बारिक को तैसे ही प्रभुपाल. O God benefactor, you have always protected our honor like our Father. God has sustained us just like a mother looks after her child with love. Pause. मीत साजन सर्व गुण नायक सदा सलामत देवा ईत ऊत जत कत तत तुम ही मिलै नानक संत सेवा. O Vaheguru, you're always our greatest friend in body and in mind, blessing us with your favors. You are ever existent, bringing enlightenment all around. O Nanak, the God is pervading everywhere, wherever we look around, here and hereafter. He alone is to be seen. O true Master, my only prayer to you is that I may be enabled to serve the holy saints through your grace, so that I could enjoy the eternal bliss. Tanasri Mahalla Panjama Sant Kripal Dayal Damodar Kam Karod Bikhajare Rajmal Joban Tan Jira In Upar Le Bare. O brother, Vaheguru has blessed us with all his favors and benedictions when the Guru bestowed his grace on us, such as we have been able to cast away all the vices like wanton desires and anger. Now we have offered everything, including our kingdom, wealth, youth, this body and soul, as a sacrifice to the holy saints. मन तन राम नाम हितकारे सुख सहज आनंद मंगल सहित पवनिद पार उतारे रहाओ. The saints have helped those people who are imbued with the love of God's true name in body and mind to cross this ocean of life successfully in a state of bliss and equipoise. Pause. तन सोथान तनोय पवना जामह संत पसारे जन नानक की शरदा पूरो ठाकुर भगत तेरे नमस्कारे. O Nanak, blessed is the place, the abode where the holy saints live. O true Master, may you fulfill the prayers and supplications of your devotee so that I would always continue saluting and serving your holy saints. Tanasri Mahalla Panjama चढ़ाए लियो महाबली ते अपने चरण परात एक नाम दियो मन मनता बिन सनकत जात. The true Guru has saved us by taking us in the refuge of his lotus feet and protected us against the onslaughts of Maya, which has been causing a lot of suffering and anguish through its strength and power. Now the Guru has blessed me with the boon of true name, which never gets separated from me, and I never get separated from true name. Satguru Pure Kini Dat हर हर नाम दियो कीर्तन को भई हमारी गात रहाओ. The perfect Guru has blessed me with this benediction of true name through his grace, which has helped us to attain salvation by reciting this true name. Pause. अंगीकार कियो प्रभु अपने भगतन की राखी पात नानक चरण गहे प्रभु अपने सुख पायो दिन रात. O Nanak, Vaheguru, who has been helpful to his saints, has protected our honor as well. Now we have sought refuge at the lotus feet of the true Master, and we are enjoying the bliss of life all the time, day and night. Tanasri Mahalla Panjama पर हरना लोभ झूठ निंद इवही करत गुदारी मृग तृष्णा आस मिथ्या मीठी एह टेक मने सधारी. We have robbed the people of their wealth due to our greed like sinners, and we have spent this whole life in vices like slander, falsehood, and vilification of others. just as the deer is craving for some water in the sandy tracks, running from one side to the other, having developed a false hope in the heart. Similarly, we have also taken the support of such vicious and sinful thoughts. साकत की आवरदा जाए पृथारी जैसे कागद के पार मूसा टूक गवावत काम नहीं गवारे रहा. The life of a faithless person enamored by worldly falsehood goes to waste without God's worship, just as the rat nibbles at the load of papers, thus wasting them completely, as they are of no use to him either. Thus the self-willed people engrossed in vicious and sinful actions do not gain anything useful in this life. Pause. कर कृपा पार ब्रह्म स्वामी ए बंधन छुटकारे बूढ़त अंध नानक प्रभ काटत साध जना संगारी. O Nanak, Vaheguru has enabled some Guru-minded people who are blessed with His grace to break off the shackles of this worldly bondage. Vaheguru has helped such people who were drowning in the blind well of ignorance to cross this ocean of life successfully in the company of the holy saints. Tanasri Mahalla Panjama सिमर सिमर स्वामी प्रभ अपना शीतल तन मन छाती रूप रंग सुख तन जी का पार ब्रह्म म्योरे जाती. By reciting the true name of Vaheguru, we have attained peace and tranquility of mind and bliss of life. Whatever I have gained by way of this beautiful body, comforts, wealth, and food for my sustenance has been bestowed by God through His grace. Rasana Ram Rasayan Mati रंग रंगी राम अपने कै चरण कमल निध थाती रहा. The tongue is always immersed in singing the praises of God, who is the fountainhead of all worldly pleasures, as we have sought refuge at the lotus feet of God, which is the source of all worldly treasures. Pause. जिसका सा तिन ही रख लिया पूरन प्रभ की पाती मेल लियो आपे सुख दाते नानक हर राखी पाती. O Nanak, Vaheguru has protected my honor, taking me as his slave, his disciple, as he is perfect in all respects. The God benefactor of all bliss has merged us with himself, thus saving our prestige and honor by all means. Tanasri Mahalla Panjama दूत दुश्मन सब तुझते निव रहे प्रगट प्रताप तुम्हारा जो जो तेरे भगत दुखाए ओ तत्काल तुम मारा. It is through your grace, O Vaheguru, that all the enemies like wanton desires, anger, slandering have been cast away, as your greatness and power has come to light in the world. Whosoever has caused sufferings to God's holy saints has been punished without any delay. Nirkhau tumhari or har neet मुरार सहाय हो दास को कर गए उधरो मीत रहाओ. O true Master, I always look up to you for my support with faith in you. O friendly God, O killer of the demon, may you with a helping hand enable me to cross this ocean of life successfully. Pause. सुनी बिनती ठाकुर मेरे खसमा ना कर आप नानक आनंद भय दुख भागे सदा सदा हर जाप. O Nanak, the God spouse has been helpful to me from the time he has cared to listen to my prayers. So we have enjoyed the bliss of life by reciting the true name of God with love and devotion, and all our ills and afflictions have been cast away. Tanasari Mahalla Panjama चतुर दिशा कीनो बल अपना सिर ऊपर कर तारियो कृपा कटाक्ष लोकन कीनो दास का दुख बिदारियो. Vaheguru, who controls the whole universe, whose will is known and followed by the whole world, and who is sustaining the whole world, has protected this devotee of his with his helping hand. Vaheguru, through his grace and benevolence, has cast away the afflictions of the cycle of births and deaths of his disciple. हर जन राखे गुरु गोबिंद कंठ लाए अवगुण सब मेटे दयाल पुरख बख्शंद रहाओ. Vaheguru has saved his devotees from the committing of sins and vicious actions, and God Benefactor has cast away all their sinful actions through his grace by taking them in his embrace. Pause. जो मांगे ठाकुर अपने ते सुई सुई देवै नानक दास मुख ते जो बोले यहाँ वहाँ सच होवै. O Nanak, Vaheguru has bestowed all the worldly possessions and fulfilled the desires of his devotees. In fact, whatever is spoken by saintly people comes to pass in this world and hereafter, and then one becomes an embodiment of truth and is taken as true, thus giving success in all the fields. Tanasari Mahalla Panjama औखी कड़ी न देखण दे अपना बिरद संभाले हाथ दे राखे अपने को सास सास व्रत पाले. Vaheguru never makes his devotees suffer from any kind of hardships and protects their honor, thus keeping his promise towards his saints. God always sustains and protects them against any afflictions with his protective hand, thus sustaining them with every breath in every moment of life. प्रभ स्यों लाग रह्यो मेरा चीत आद अंत प्रभ सदा सहाय तन हमारा मीत रहा. We have developed love for such a Vaheguru, who is our greatest friend and whose praises are being sung by us all the time. He is our protector from the very beginning to the end, and we thank him for all his favors. Pause. मन बिलास भय साहिब के अचरज देख बड़ाई हर सिमर सिमर आनंद कर नानक प्रभु पूरन पैज रखाई. O Nanak, our heart blossoms forth with joy by perceiving the wonderful greatness and status of Vaheguru, who is acclaimed all over the world, and we enjoy the bliss of his love and devotion. We always remain in a state of bliss and equipoise by reciting his true name, as he has protected our honor all along. Tanasari Mahalla Panjama जिसको बिसरै प्राणपत दाता सोई गनो अपागा चरण कमल जा कामन रांगेओ अमे सरोवर पागा. Such people who forsake the beloved God, who is very dear to them, who is even more than their life, such people are to be considered most unfortunate and unlucky. However, the Guru-minded people who are imbued with the love of God's lotus feet are to be considered immersed in love of nectar-like company of holy saints. तेरा जन राम नाम रंग जागा आलस छीज गया सब तन ते प्रीतम स्यो मन लागा रहाओ. A person who is your devotee or saint always keeps awake in your love and devotion, and such a person casts away all lethargy and laziness from life. In fact, such a fortunate person has inculcated the love of God in his heart. Pause. जय जय पेखो तह नारायण सगल कटा में तागा नाम उदक पीवत जन नानक त्यागे सब अनुरागा. O Nanak, wherever I look around in the world, I find the same God pervading every being and everywhere, being sewn in the same thread in perfection and pervading all over in equal measure. The devotees of Vaheguru partake of the nectar like true name in reciting Guru's word, having rid themselves of the love of worldly pleasures and possessions, and having developed the love for Vaheguru. Tanasari Mahalla Panjama Janke Puran Hoye Kam Kali Kal Mahabhikhya Mein Lajja Rakhi Ram Rahao. It is heartening to note that all the functions of Vaheguru's devotees have been completed successfully. God has saved us from all ills when the whole world is engrossed in poisonous and vicious thoughts or sinful actions in this age of Kali Yuga. Pause. Simar simar Swami Prabhu apna nikat na aave jam मुकत बैकुंठ साध की संगत जन पायो हर का ताम. The holy saints always recite the true name of the God and they worship Vaheguru. As such, they are not approached by the Yama, god of death. Such people, they attain peace and bliss of heavens along with salvation through the grace of company of holy congregations, thus attaining the abode of Vaheguru. चरण कमल हर जन की थाती कोट सुख बिसराम गोविंद तमोदर सिमरो दिन रैन नानक सद्गुरबान. O Nanak, such Guru-minded people have found a place among millions of comforts and eternal bliss as they have gotten refuge at the support of the lotus feet of Vaheguru. I would offer myself as a sacrifice to such holy saints who are enjoying the eternal bliss by reciting true name of Vaheguru. Tanasari Mahalla Panjama मांगो राम तेक दान सगल मनोरथ पूरन होए सिमरो तुमरा नाम. I would seek only one favor from Vaheguru which would fulfill all my desires of leading a noble and purposeful life by reciting God's true name. Pause. चरण तुम्हारे हृदय वासे संतन का संग पावो सोग अगन में मन ना व्यापै आठ पहर गुण गावो. O Vaheguru, may I be bestowed with the favour of inculcating the love of lotus feet of God in my heart through His grace in the company of holy saints. As a result of this, I would rid all of my ills and sufferings by singing the praises of God all the 24 hours. स्वस्थ व्यवस्था हर की सेवा मध्यंत प्रभ चापण नानक रंग लगा परमेसर बाहुड़ जन्म न छापण. O Nanak, my only prayer to Vaheguru is to enable me to recite God's true name all the time, whether in joy or sorrow, and engage myself in the service of God, either in the beginning or at the end of life. In fact, Guru-minded people who are imbued with the love of God, they never pass through the cycle of births and deaths, and they merge with Vaheguru. Tanasari Mahila Panjama Mango Ram te sab thok Manak ko jachat Sram paye Prabh ke simran mokh. I would seek all the favours and worldly possessions from my true Master, as it gives us pain to solicit these favours from others, whereas by seeking these favours from God, we could gain salvation by reciting true name. Pause. Kokhe mun jan simrit purana Ved pukar hai kokh Kripa sindh sev sach paye Dove suhele lok. Many rishis, munis, mendicants have studied books of lore like Smritis, Puranas, Vedas, and have finally concluded this. O brother, let us serve Vaheguru, the ocean of all virtues and grace, which would enable us to attain the God, thus making both the places of this world and the next most comfortable and enjoyable. आन चार व्यवहार हैं जीते बिन हर सिमरन फोक नानक जन्म मरण पै काटे मिल साधु बिन से सोख. O Nanak, apart from the recitation of God's true name, all other efforts in the world are fruitless and meaningless. It is only by serving the God in the company of holy saints that we could cast away all our ills and afflictions, causing us the sufferings of cycle of births and deaths. Tanasri Mahilla Panjama Trisna Bujhay Har ke naam Mahasantokh hove Gur bachni Prabh syo lage Puran dhyan. We enjoy peace and bliss in the mind by following Guru's word, and we get immersed in meditation of God in state of equipoise. Thus we could extinguish the fire of our worldly desires by reciting the true name of God. Pause. Mahakalol pujhe maya ke kar kirpa mere deen dayal apna naam deh jap jeeva puran hoye das ki kaal. O God, benefactor of the helpless people, all the waves of distraction and worldly desires get dispersed and cast away when Vaheguru bestows his grace and benevolence on us. O true Master, may you bestow the boon of true name on us through your grace, so that I could lead a fruitful life of a human being, fulfilling the toiling efforts of this devotee of yours, resulting in leading a perfect and purposeful life. Sarab manorath raj sukh ras sad khushiyan कीर्तन जप नाम जिसके कर्म लिखिया तुर करतै नानक जन के पूरन काम. We could fulfill all the aims and ideals of our life by reciting true name and singing the praises of Vaheguru through Guru's word. We could gain all the worldly pleasures, including the bliss of life and kingdom of heaven. But this is possible for a really fortunate person, predestined by God's will, based on earlier actions. Such a fortunate person gets all desires and ideals fulfilled by reciting the true name of God, O Nanak, and such a person proceeds to God's presence with flying colors, making a success of this life. Tanasri Mahalla Panjama जानकी कीनी पार ब्रह्म सार निंदक टिक न पावन मूले उड़ गए बेकार रहा. Vaheguru always cares for and looks after his holy saints and sustains them. As such, the slanderers never go anywhere near his saints, though all the sins have taken two wings with their company. Pause. जय जय देखो ते ते स्वामी कोई न पहुँचन हार जो जो करे अवज्ञा जन की होए गया तत्छार. I perceive same God sublime, alone, all around, wherever I look around. As such, I do not find any enemy around me who could harm me. However, anybody who dishonors the holy saints or devotees of Vaheguru, they get destroyed very soon. Karanhar rakhwala hoa जाका अंत न पारावार नानक दास रखे प्रभु अपने निंदक काढ़े मार. O Nanak, Vaheguru always protects the honor of his saints, and no one has been able to gauge the greatness or depth of that Vaheguru or his limits. In fact, that God has always saved his devotees, whereas the slanderers have been punished and destroyed. Tanasri Mahalla Panjama Karanoma Padatal Ik Onkar Sat Guru Prasad हर चरण शरण गोविंद दुख पंजना दास अपने को नाम देव हो दृष्ट पब तारो कृपा कर तारो पूजा गह कूप ते काढ़ लेव हो रहा. O true Master, destroyer of all the ills, I have sought refuge at your lotus feet. May you bestow on me the boon of true name, which is my only prayer. O Vaheguru, may I be enabled to cross this ocean of life successfully through your grace by lending me your support. I may be removed from the blind well of this ignorance through your true name. Pause. काम क्रोध कर अंध माया के बंध अनिक दोखा तन छाद पूरे प्रभु बिना आन न राखन हारा नाम सिमराव हो शरण सूरे. O Vaheguru, this human being is engrossed in the love and bondage of worldly falsehood Maya due to the vices of wanton desires, anger, greed, and body of this human being gets fully occupied in various ills or afflictions. Moreover, there is no one else except you to save this person from this plight. O Vaheguru, may you bless us with the gift of your true name, as you always protect the honor of those people who have sought your support. Patit udharana, ji jant tarana, ved uchar nahi ant payo, gunhe sukh sagara, brahma rath nagara, Pagat vachal Nanak gayo. Redeemer of sinners, saving grace of all beings and creatures, even those who recite the Vedas have not found your limit. Vaheguru is the ocean of virtue and peace, the source of jewels. O Nanak, I sing the praises of the lover of his devotees. Tanasari Mahalla Panjama, Halat Sukh Palat Sukh, Nit Sukh Simrano, Naam Gobind Ka Sada Lijay, Miteh Kamane Paap Chirane, Sad Sangat Mil Mua Ji Jai Raha. O Vaheguru, may we be blessed with your grace and benevolence so that we could always recite your true name, as this recitation of true name brings us joy and peace of mind in this world as well as the next. We could also cast away all the sins committed in various terms of life during the ages, and this withered mind gets blossomed forth by merging with the God in the company of holy saints. Pause. Raj Joban Bisarant Harumaya Maha Dukhe Hu Mahant Kahe Aas Pyas Raman Har Kirtan Eho Padarath Bhagavant Lahai. This worldly bondage of Maya has made us forget Vaheguru, the sublime, by engrossing us in its love and charm, and this affliction and suffering is bothering us, as stated by God's holy saints. But there are very few fortunate ones, predestined by God's will, who are imbued with the love of Vaheguru and an urge to sing his praises. Saran Samaratha Katha Gochara Patitu Dharan Nam Tera Antarjami Nanak Ke Swami Sarbat Puran Thakur Mera. O Nanak, that Vaheguru who protects the honor of those people who have sought the support of him is all-powerful and limitless and remains unseen by us. His true name alone could give salvation to the sinners like us. O omniscient God, the true master of the helpless, you are pervading everywhere and in all beings. You alone are our true master who has bestowed all the worldly pleasures on us. Tanasari Mahalla Panjama, Kar Parma, Ik Omkar, Satgur Prasad, Bandana Har Bandana, Gun Gao Gopal Rai, Rahao, Vade Pag Pete Gurudeva, Kot Parad Mite Har Seva. Our salutations to Vaheguru, the God sublime. Let us continue singing the praises of that God who is the enlightener. Pause. However, the fortunate people, Gursikhs, who have been blessed with such a noble Guru, they have cast away all their sins by serving God. Charan Kamal Jaka Manarape, Sog Aganitis Janana Vyape, Sagar Tarya Sadhu Sange, Nirbhav Nam Japo Har Range. Such people who have inculcated the love of the lotus feet of God in their heart, They are not pastured by the burning fire of afflictions. Such Guru-minded people have been enabled to cross this ocean of life by reciting true name in the company of holy saints. I am tempted to recite the fearless God's true name with love and devotion. पर तन दोख किछ पाप न फेड़े, जम जंदार न आवे नेड़े, तृष्णा अगन प्रभ आग बुझाई, नानक उधरे प्रभ सरणाई. Even the Yama, the god of death, does not go anywhere near such person who has not indulged in taking anyone else's wealth or committing any kind of sins with vicious actions. O Nanak, God himself has extinguished the fire of worldly desires of such Guru-minded people, and they have successfully crossed this ocean of life by taking the support of the true Master. Tanasri Mahalla Panjama, Tripad Bhai Sach Bhojan Khaya, मन तन रसना नाम त्याया, जीवना हर जीवना, जीवन हर जप साध संग रहा. The Guru-minded people who have partaken the food of the true name through Guru's grace, they have been satisfied in their hearts as they have recited God's true name with love and devotion, with body and mind, with their tongue. O brother, the real worthwhile life out of all is the life lived in the company of holy saints by reciting the true name of God. We are also longing for leading such a fruitful life. Pause. अनेक प्रकारी वस्त्र ओढ़ाए, अंदिन कीर्तन हर गुण गाए, हसती रथ अस सवारी, हर का मार्ग हृदय निहारी. People who are singing the praises of God day and night, they are always engaged in reciting true name through Guru's word, and they are covered by various protective clothing and protected by God's grace. O brother, it appears that such people are riding the elephant, chariots, horses, and are convinced in their mind of meeting with the God by following this path. मन तन अंतर चरण त्याया, हर सुख निधान नानक दास पाया. O Nanak, they have worshipped the lotus feet of God with love and devotion, with their body and mind, and they have recited God's true name. Thus they have merged with Vaheguru, who is the fountainhead of all bliss, and are immersed in prime soul. तनासरी महल्ला पंजमा, गुर के चरण जी का निस्तारा, समुंद सागर जिन खिन में तारा रहा. There is only one means of attaining salvation in this world, by taking refuge at the support of the lotus feet of Vaheguru. The Guru has thus enabled the human being to cross this ocean of life successfully. Pause. Koi hoa karam rat, koi tirat naya, dasi har ka naam theaya, बंधन काटन हार स्वामी, जन नानक सिमरै अंतर जामी. Some people are seeking salvation by developing love of their past actions, while some others are visiting holy places of pilgrimage for attaining salvation. But the devotees of Vaheguru, like me, have recited true name only for crossing this ocean of life. O Nanak, the beloved devotees of God always remember the omniscient God, who is capable of breaking the shackles of our worldly bondage. Tanasri Mahalla Panjama, Kite Parakar Na Tuto Preet, Das Tere Ki निर्मल रीत रहा. Your devotee has a very pure lifestyle. Nothing can break love of your devotee from you. Pause. जी प्राण मन तन ते प्यारा, हो मैं बंद हर देवण हारा। चरण कमल स्यों लागो नेह, नानक की बेनती है। O Vaheguru, you are our beloved and you are dearest to us than our life, even than our body and mind. O Vaheguru, you are ridding us of our egoistic tendencies. You are the restrainer of the ego. I am in love with Vaheguru's lotus feet. This alone is my prayer, O Nanak. ओंकार सतगुर प्रसाद, तनासरी महला नौवा। काहे रे बन खोजन जाए, सर्ब निवासी सदा लेपा। तो ही संग समाए रहा, पुहप मध ज्यों बास बस्त है। मुकर माहे जैसे छाए, तैसे ही हर बसे निरंतर। कट ही खोजो पाए। O mortal, why are you wandering and roaming around the jungles in trying to seek and realize the true Master? Vaheguru, in fact, abides within you and is pervading everywhere. He resides separately and is equally present within you as well, just as a flower is filled with its fragrance and one's image is seen in the mirror. He remains aloof and distinct from the worldly falsehood. O brother, similarly we should try to realize Vaheguru within us as he abides there. So let us try to seek him within ourselves. बाहर पीतरे को जानो, ए गुर ज्ञान बताए। जन नानक बिन आपा चीनै, मिटै न भ्रम की काई। O Nanak, I have been given this knowledge through Guru's teachings that Vaheguru is pervading everywhere, within us and without, in equal measure. O brother, without attaining self-realization and knowing the secrets of nature, we cannot get rid of the darkness of the curtain between us and the God, and the truth remains hidden. Moreover, our wandering mind does not get peace and stability. Let us therefore realize the truth that we form a part of God sublime. The soul is part of the prime soul. So why should we be lost in our wanderings, losing the true path? Tanasari mahalla noa, sadhu eho jag param pulana। राम नाम का सिमरन छोड़ दिया, माया हाथ बिकाना रहा। O saints, this world is completely lost, being engrossed in dual-mindedness, its whims and fancies. As such, it is overpowered and sold by the love of worldly falsehood and is trying to seek peace of mind in the worldly pleasures. Thus, this human being is looking for peace and bliss of life by enjoying worldly pleasures and forsaking the love of God and the recitation of true name. Pause. मात पिता पाई सुत बनता, ताकै रस लपटाना। जो बन तन प्रभता कै मद में, अहनिस रहे दीवाना। This mortal is always engrossed in the love of family, including parents, siblings, children, and spouse, and feels happy with their love. Then he's almost mad in the love of youth, wealth, status, and feels engrossed in egoistic tendencies day and night. This mortal gets completely involved with madness in the power of such worldly pleasures and possessions. दीन दयाल सदा दुख भंजन, तास्यों मन न लगाना। जन नानक को तन मैं किन्हूँ, गुरमुख होए पछाना। O Nanak, the God who is the benefactor of the helpless and poor people like us is completely neglected without developing any love for him. O brother, in fact, hardly any Guru-minded people among millions of people attain self-realization and gets merged with God, whose own self forms part and parcel of Vaheguru. तनासरी महला नौवा, तह जोगी को जगत न जानो। लोभ मोह माया ममता, फुन जह कट माहे पछानो। रहाओ। Do not consider the yogi who is engrossed in the love of worldly falsehood, including vices like greed, worldly attachment or egoism, to be leading a pure and fruitful life, imbued with love of Vaheguru. Pause. पर निंदा उस्तत नह जाके, कंचन लोह समानो। हरख सोगते रहे अतीता, जोगी ताहि बखानो। The true and real yogi is one who is not involved in the slander of others or in the praise of others, and takes everything at the same value, whether it be iron or gold, without entertaining any greed for wealth. The true yogi would consider joy and sorrow at the same face value. चंचल मन दह दिस कौ तावत, अचल जाहि ठहरानो। कहु नानक हे बिद को जो नर, मुकत ताहि तुम मानो। O Nanak, the mind which was wandering in all the 10 directions has been controlled and stabilized in peace and one position by a yogi. O brother, such a person leading a purposeful life should be considered having attained salvation. In fact, a person who is reciting God's true name with a controlled mind is enjoying the real bliss of life. तनासरी महला नौमा, अब मैं कौन पाओ करो। जय भिद मन को संसा चूकै, पाओ निध पार परो। Rahao. O Vaheguru, what mode or means of actions should I take so as to cast away my doubts and whims, my dual-mindedness, and finally cross this ocean of life successfully? Pause. जन्म पाए कछ पलो न कीनो, ताते अधिक डरो। मन बच क्रम हर गुण नहीं गाए, यह जी सोच तरो। O Vaheguru, I am having my fears about my actions in the heart, as I have not performed any virtuous deeds. Having attained this human life, I am bothered in my mind, as I have not sung the praises of God with love and devotion, and this thought worries my mind that this life is being wasted without reciting God's true name. गुरमत सुन कछ ज्ञान न उपजयो, पशु ज्यों उदर परो। कहु नानक प्रभु बिरत पछानो, तब हों पतित तरो। O Nanak, I have not learnt anything through the knowledge and teachings of the Guru, as the truth has not dawned within me about God's secrets, except filling my belly like the animals. In fact, I am behaving like the animals, being engrossed in the worldly pleasures and worldly falsehood. O true Master, I could cross this ocean of life successfully only when you bestow your grace on your devotees and sinners like us through your protective care, as is your normal function. You protect us and you're protecting our honor all the time. Without your grace, this life is being spent in leading this life like animals, just for filling our belly. तनासरी महला पहला, कर दूजा अष्टपदियाँ, एक ओंकार सतगुर प्रसाद गुर सागर रत्नी पर पूरे अमृत संत चुगे नहीं दूरे हर रस जोग चुगे प्रभु पावै सरवर में हंस प्राण पत पावै. The Guru is full of jewels of virtues and good values like the ocean, and the swans, like holy saints, are partaking the nectar of true name by inculcating virtues, leaving aside the vicious thoughts or sinful actions. They are never far removed from the Guru, who is the fountainhead of all virtues. They have won the love and acceptance of God by partaking the love and devotion in the form of true name of Vaheguru. Thus the 6 disciples attained the God, the Master of our lives, by joining the company of holy saints like the swans. क्या बग बपड़ा छपड़ी नाए कीचड़ डूबे मैल न जाए रहा. What could the poor self-minded faithless people do engaged in worldly falsehood, like the crane as he's bathing in the pond of bad company and gets stuck up in the mud of his vicious and sinful actions? His filth of egoism does not leave him as he suffers engrossed in the vices like desires and anger. Pause. रख रख चरण तरे विचारी दुबिधा छोड़ भय निरंकारी मुक्त पदारथ हर रस चाखे आवण जान रहे गुर राखे. However, the thoughtful people protect themselves against the onslaughts of vices and sinful actions and function accordingly. They keep themselves safe from treading on smaller beings. Thus, such Guru-minded people have developed love for God sublime by getting rid of their dual-mindedness, and they remain immersed in His devotion. Such Guru-minded people attain the invaluable stage of salvation by imbibing the love of the God and by partaking the nectar of God's true name. Such people have been saved by true Guru and have been protected from going through the cycle of births and deaths. सरवर हंसा छोट न जाए प्रेम भगत कर सहज समाए सरवर में हंस हंस में सागर अकथ कथा गुर बचनी आदर. The 6 who behave like the swan, they never forsake the worship of God by reciting true name in the company of holy saints, and they attain unison with Vaheguru, enjoying peace and tranquility of mind in the state of equipoise. The swans, like Guru's 6, they reside in the nectar tank of holy saints, while in their hearts they have inculcated the love of holy saints in the ocean of Guru's word. Such Guru's 6 always sing the praises of the limitless God through Guru's word, and they follow Guru's teachings. आनंद मूल नाथ धारी गुरमुख भगत सहज बिचारी भगत वचल पै काटन हारे हों मैं मार मिले पग तारे. The true master is the support and mainstay of the world, this universe and its bliss, and is the fountainhead of all joy in the world, from whom all the worldly pleasures and bliss springs and prevails all over, without any parallel or any other master controlling him. The Guru-minded people become thoughtful, meditating on him through his worship, and they get rid of all their fear complex through the love of holy saints. They attain unison with God by ridding themselves of their egoism through the company of holy saints, following their path. अनिक जतन कर काल संताए मरण दिखाए मंडल में आए जन्म पदार्थ दुविधा खोवै आप न चीनस प्रम प्रम रोवै. Self-will people get pressured by Yama, notwithstanding all their efforts, as all human beings are given a fixed date time of their death predestined for them. The faithless people waste this invaluable human life due to their dual-mindedness, and they wander through the cycle of births and deaths, the suffering with afflictions, as they never attain self-realization by Guru's guidance. कहतो पढ़तो सुनतो एक, धीरज धर्म तरणी तर टेक, जत सत संजम हृदय समाए, चौथे पद को जे मन पति आए. The Guru-minded people have realized this fact, that it is the God alone who speaks, reads, or listens to anything, as Guru-minded people have sought refuge at the lotus feet of God by entertaining patience and religious duty in their hearts. Moreover, they have grasped the virtues of celibacy, truthfulness, and disciplines in their mind, in their hearts, and they believe in God in the fourth state of equipoise. साचे निर्मल मैल न लागै, गुर कै शब्द परम पाओ पागै, सूरत मूरत आद नूप, नानक जाचै साच स्वरूप. Such people who have been purified by attaining true God, they are not affected by the filth of sins. They have cast away their whims, vicious actions, or fear complex through Guru's guidance. The God who is so charming and beautiful is the fountainhead of everything and spreads his charm all around. O Nanak, I would seek the boon of true name from God sublime, so that I could merge with such a wonderful God who is an embodiment of truth.